Okay, Cowboys Nation, the day we've been waiting for has finally come. Draft day is tonight, and right on schedule, the experts are doing what they do best. That is talking in circles, saying things like move up, trade back, take a corner, take defense no matter what. The translation is nobody actually knows what the Cowboys are going to do. But here at the Doomsday Bullies Report, we don't guess, we build. And today, we're walking you through a mock draft that actually fits the roster, the coaching staff, and most importantly, how you win in January. Cowboys Nation, let's get to work. Most of you are keenly aware that when you have the 12th pick, this isn't a developmental selection. This is day one starter, immediate impact, potential tone setter for the entire roster. But here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to say. Only about 60% of first round picks actually pan out. So that best player available talk sounds good on TV, but the reality is your margin for error is razor thin. So what did the DBR do? Well, we eliminated risk and built the draft around certainty, versatility, and matchup control. Now, the first move the Cowboys made was to trade pick number 12 along with Jake Ferguson to the Baltimore Ravens. And in return, they get pick number 14, 80, and 154. Now, before you panic, just relax. This isn't Madden. This is asset control. Dallas slides back two spots and gains extra ammo. And with that 14th pick, the Cowboys select Kenyon Sadiq, tight end, Oregon. Now, I know many of you may have your face twisted. I know you're probably saying a tight end. But you see, the combine didn't just confirm what we already knew about Sadiq, it elevated him. Running a 4.3940 at 241 pounds doesn't just make him the fastest tight end ever tested in Indianapolis, it puts him in a completely different conversation. Only DK Metcalf and Nick Imawari have ever hit sub 4.4 speed, 40 plus inch verticals, and 11 plus foot broad jumps at 220 pounds or heavier. And here's the part they're not telling you Sadiq is actually the heaviest of the three. And when a player breaks the athletic scale like that, he doesn't just rise up the draft boards, he changes the math for every team picking in the first round. See, this is where the DBR separates from the noise. Watch this. This is where most tight ends get stuck in traffic. But Sadiq, he's already slipping through bodies. This isn't just speed. This is movement efficiency at size. Now, once he clears the second level, it's over. Linebackers, too slow. Safeties, taking bad angles, maybe on purpose. This is why the position label doesn't matter. This is a matchup problem. This is why Dallas makes this pick. Not for what he does, but for what defenses can't do with him. 241 pounds, moving like a wide receiver. His addition changes the offensive identity of the team immediately. You see, now Shotty can run 12 personnel as a base offense. Let that sink in. You now have Sadiq and Brevin Span Ford, who can both motion, block, flex out, or line up in the backfield as a fullback. Defenses are now stuck. They stay in base, they get cooked in coverage. If they go to nickel, they get bullied in the run game. That's not offense. That is called control. Dallas has built an offense nobody can match up with. That's how you win in January. Now, on to pick 20. The Cowboys do another trade. This time it is with the Buffalo Bills, sending their 20th pick and receiving the 26th pick this year, along with the 91st pick and next year's round 4 pick. With the 26th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select TJ Parker, edge from Clemson. Before we even get to the tape, look at the production: 52 tackles, 15.5 for loss, 10 sacks. That's not potential, that's impact. Now, this is why offenses hate him. Violence at the point of attack and eyes on the football. That's how you force turnovers. He's not just tackling, he's attacking the ball. Now, watch him here. He doesn't just rush, he collapses the pocket, forces movement, forces bad throws, and forces mistakes. Quarterbacks don't get comfortable, they get rushed. And here's the part people miss: when production dips, it's not because he disappeared, it's because offenses adjusted. Sliding protection, chipping, game planning around him. You don't ignore players like this, you survive them. With day one coming to a close, the first round being over and the Cowboys not having a second round draft pick, they had to get ready for the third round, which is quite honestly where drafts are really made. They had to wait to the 80th pick, and with that pick, they get Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker out of Texas. Now, Anthony Hill Jr. doesn't just play linebacker, he flies. He goes sideline to sideline with a combination of speed and controlled aggression that's rare at any level. His run defense is legitimately elite. He diagnoses instantly, attacks downhill, and finishes with violence. OCs had to account for him on every carry, not just some plays, every play. And that's the kind of disruption that travels immediately to Sundays. You don't block him, you must survive him. And then the next pick was the 91st pick, and the Cowboys get Dalen Everett, cornerback out of Georgia, SEC tested. Now, Dalen Everett's best football is ahead of him, but you must use him correctly. Fortunately, we have a guru as a defensive coordinator when it comes to defensive backs. And this pick has Parker's name all over it because this is a zone heavy scheme corner. He's very adept at cover 3 and match quarters. He can disrupt timing at the line, carry vertical routes, and reroute distributions in space. And when the ball comes out, he breaks downhill with intent. This isn't a gamble. This is called scheme fit. Moving on to 92, Parker finally gets his future nose tackle. The Cowboys get Xavier Harris, nose tackle, Ole Miss. We all know the size. He is a mammoth of a man, but he quietly put together a career year. He had 56 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, an interception, plus pass breakups. But the numbers are not the real story. You see, when Lane Kiffin walked out, Harris didn't fold. He spoke up. He called it what it was, a slap in the face. And that rallied the locker room. Ole Miss rode that energy all the way to a Sugar Bowl win and a semifinal run. He played in 50 games, amassed over 1,400 plus snaps, and blocked 6 kicks. Yes, he will make an impact on day one because he will be lining up on special teams. And he also has a reputation as one of the biggest human beings to ever line up in the SEC. He doesn't just take up space, he erases it. With this mock draft, the Cowboys were able to pick up 5 players in the first 100 of the draft. And all of the players will play this year and have some sort of impact. And that's the purpose of drafting people in the first 100. Now, on to day 3. With the 112th pick, the Cowboys pick Keyshawn Elliott, linebacker, Arizona State. Now, all along, we were hearing that the fans wanted a downhill thumper. Keyshawn Elliott is not here to run around. He is here to hit people. He is a downhill thumper who diagnoses quickly when his eyes are right and arrives with pop at the point of attack. His pro day speed, passable. Enough to run the alley, enough to chase the seam. But let's be clear and real. He's not chasing receivers to the sideline, and he's not fixing mistakes with elite recovery speed. But on rundowns, this is where he earns his money early. Stack, shed, tackle. That's a Mike linebacker and a base defense. And here's what most people miss: quarterback background, pre snap recognition. That is green dot potential. Now, how he hasn't been talked about is kind of unbelievable because he is a person who had 7 sacks in his senior year. And these weren't empty garbage time sacks. This proves he has timing, heavy hands, lane discipline through protection. And if you want a defense that can dial up pressure on third down, you already have the built in answers. He's not flashy, he's functional. And that wins games. Next, the Cowboys with the 152nd pick take tackle Austin Barber out of Florida. Austin Barber gives you something Dallas always needs: flexibility. His pass protection numbers, solid over a large sample. But when you turn on the tape, speed to power gave him problems. Wide rushes gave him problems. That's not a tackle long term. That's why guard is where he can thrive. And if the left tackle experiment fails again, like the past 2 years, Dallas doesn't need to panic. They just pivot. Tyler Smith kicks back outside. Barber plugs in at guard. And the line basically stabilizes. If we're lucky, we can push Tyler Guyton to his original spot where he played in college at right tackle. Now, this isn't a backup plan. This is protection against chaos. Keeping it moving, the next 2 picks 154 and 177 are cornerbacks, developmental, but they have the traits. The first one is Ephesians Prysock out of Washington. When you talk about Ephesians Prysock, at 6'4 with real speed and fluid hips, Prysock is exactly the type of corner Christian Parker develops. And the best part, his run defense is already there. You can't teach length, and Dallas finally stops trying. He will be valuable in special teams. And next up, we have Thaddeus Dixon out of North Carolina. Dixon's game comes down to trust. When he trusts his feet and plays with patience, he's very disruptive. He can press, he can sit in off coverage, and he can drive on routes. But the run defense needs a little work. Still, for a day three corner, the talent is real. Raw but worth developing is how we can actually describe him. Then, next, at 180, safety, Jalen Stroman out of Notre Dame. Stroman is at his best when the game is in front of him. Read, react, attack, whether it's filling the alley or breaking on intermediate routes. That's where he thrives. But when you send him deep, it's different. Now, the instincts are there, but the comfort is not. He is a strong safety, not a deep field eraser. And once you deploy him correctly, he becomes an asset immediately. Play him forward, and he pays you back. Dallas's final pick is number 218. And this is where the DBR separates from everybody else. With that pick, the Cowboys take halfback Chip Trayanum out of Toledo, listed as a UDFA by most, ignored by almost everyone. But when you actually turn on the tape, this might be one of the steals in the entire draft. Elite athleticism. We're talking Bruce Feldman's freak list territory. 5'11, 233 pounds, high 4.3 speed. That puts him in the 93rd percentile for both size and speed. And the strength, 415-pound bench, 650-pound squat, with a clock time of 22.2 miles per hour. That's not a running back profile. That's a collision problem. But here's what makes him truly dangerous. He's not just explosive, he's controlled. Good vision, patience in the hole, and he lets blocks develop. And then boom, elite acceleration through the lane. Big moment, no problem. He had a game-winning touchdown against Notre Dame. That's not just production, that's trust under pressure. Now, early on, he earns his way through special teams, of course, coverage units, his physical presence. He gets on the field day one. He has a high football IQ, adaptability. This is a player who already transitioned between roles and schemes. And here's how Dallas uses him. This is a shoddy type back, and he can be used as a closer. Fourth quarter, defenses are tired. Dallas has a lead or the game is on the line, you don't finesse them. You punish the opposing defense. By the fourth quarter, he's not running the ball. He's finishing the game. In him, we have a low risk, high effort back for short yardage and rotational value. Now, the PFF gave this draft a B plus. The DBR, we're not impressed with grades. We're impressed with fits. And this draft does three things. It creates a unique offensive identity. It adds violent, fast defenders. And it builds depth where Dallas usually ignores it. I know everybody wants flashy picks, but championships are built on structure, matchups, and of course, discipline. And this draft finally looks like a team preparing for January, not September. Now, if you understand what you just saw, you already know this ain't your average Cowboys breakdown. So, subscribe to the Doomsday Bullies Report. We don't follow narratives, we expose them. And above all, thank you for giving us your most valuable asset, and that is your time. This is why we follow this model. We always make it make sense. Let's go, Cowboys. Peace, and until the next time.